Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the number of lives claimed by rip currents this year. And a small plane crash north of Dallas leaves 2 people dead and 1 person in the hospital. Plus, search crews in Utah are searching for a couple that went missing on a hike, what authorities found so far.
Well, the weekend is almost here. We're looking at a rather hot and steamy one this afternoon. We have one little storm that's up here off of I-45. We'll just see how far south it gets close to the I-10 corridor. But then the big news, we got trouble in the tropics, and we'll have all that coming up in a moment.
Tonight, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will face off in the first presidential debate ahead of this year's presidential election. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Karina Garcia. 2 people died in a small plane crash just south of the McKinney National Airport this morning. A spokesperson from the city says that the aircraft crashed shortly after takeoff. 3 people were on board and the surviving victim was taken to a Dallas hospital. The FAA says data tied to the plane's tail number is registered to Human Relief Ministries based in Forney. The plane is a Cessna Model 41-4A manufactured in 1980 and was last certified in 2023. Corpus Christi police are investigating a human remain found Monday at the Prairie Place wastewater lift station on Lexington Road. City water employees discovered the remains around 3:30 p.m. while doing maintenance. Detectives are working to determine how the remains ended up in the station. Authorities say the body was too decomposed to determine the cause of death, but it shows no signs of homicide. The remains are being sent to the University of North Texas Center for Human Identification for DNA analysis. Rip currents off the coast of Florida caused 8 deaths over a 4-day period. Among the victims, a 19-year-old and a couple from Pennsylvania. Authorities say the most recent death was reported Sunday when a 60-year-old Missouri woman got caught in a rip current near Panama City Beach. The National Weather Service says there have been 19 rip current-related deaths this year so far. 8 deaths occurred in both Florida and Puerto Rico, 2 others in Texas, and there was 1 incident in Ohio. And now let's take a look at your forecast with our very own Chief Meteorologist, Maclovio Perez.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. You know, I'm not one to unnecessarily stress you, but I have to tell you what's going on. Things are getting real interesting in the tropics. Right now, we have this area of low pressure right here. It's still not a named storm, but it has the potential to definitely hit the Yucatan in about 3 days by Sunday. And then by Monday, it will probably be in the Gulf. Now, that being said, there's another system out here in the mid-Atlantic, and this one very likely will become a tropical storm by Monday or Tuesday. So we'll have the latest on that coming up in just a few minutes. Karina, we'll toss it back to you.
Mac, thank you. A couple from Texas went missing in Utah, and search crews believe the 2 were caught in the path of floodwaters.
I haven't seen it rain like that in years.
5 days after floodwaters came out of the blue,
It's just total destruction down through there.
searchers once again found themselves sifting through the aftermath along the Steel Bender Trail, looking for a missing Texas couple.
They've gone off trail. You can see them get out looking.
Mike Palmer with the Grand County Sheriff's Office says crews have uncovered signs of the couple, including an unsettling one in a tree.
He found a pair of pants last night with his wallet and his ID.
Family members tell KSL Ray and Miranda Ankovsky were outdoorsy and experienced, but they lost contact with them as they explored the trail Friday afternoon.
I would have thought that they would have been able to get back from the 1.5 miles where they were at.
Sheriff's deputies now believe the couple was caught in the flood.
And it probably tumbled that UTV down the wash. I'm going to say 3/4 of a mile before it stopped.
Searchers today have been combing 2 areas totaling over 45 acres.
We've got drones. We have 4 canine teams. There's Cache County, Utah County, Washington County, San Juan County, Mesa County.
Though help has come from around Utah and Colorado, the sheriff's office says the operation could downsize as early as tomorrow.
It might be 5 people, 10 people down in there instead of 30 and 40.
Crews say, though, they'll continue to search
We won't stop looking for them.
as they hold on to hope the couple can be found.
There's always hope until there isn't.
Senator Ted Cruz was in Dallas Wednesday to build support for a new idea to restrict porn generated by artificial intelligence. There have been several high-profile cases, including one in North Texas, where high school students used AI to make naked pictures of their classmates. Cruz wants to build support for his bill with the support of a Democrat from Minnesota. This is going to add criminal penalties for people who post that kind of content and find big tech companies if they don't take them down when they are made aware of it.
When we rolled the bill out, we had 14 co-sponsors on it. We had 7 Democrats, 7 Republicans. That was by design. We wanted it to be broad and bipartisan across the ideological spectrum. There's no reason this should be ideological.
There's a similar bill in the Senate along with Senator Cruz's, which allows people to file lawsuits against companies who don't comply. Both ideas have major support in Congress, but big tech companies are very effective at lobbying against new rules for their platforms. Tonight, a face-off between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will take place in Atlanta as the leading candidates from the major parties prepare for their first debate ahead of this election season.
Mr. President, can you let him finish, sir?
During the first presidential debate of 2020,
the question is, radical left
Donald Trump interrupted Joe Biden more than 100 times.
Everybody remembers the disastrous first debate where he sort of lost the campaign that night. But the second debate, he was good. He was measured. He had command of the facts.
When it comes to tonight's debate, sources familiar with the conversation say Trump's advisors and allies have tried to steer him away from airing his grievances and have instead encouraged him to focus in on kitchen table issues like the economy, crime, and inflation. All areas where Biden will have to defend his record. But Trump has also added to his record since these two last met on the debate stage.
Roe v. Wade comes down. January 6th happens. You have 88 felony indictments. You've got the criminal felony charges.
Biden's team is looking to paint Trump as unhinged and unfit to return to the Oval Office. They're also hoping the president can highlight the domestic issues that have become centerpieces of his campaign.
There's a huge amount of opportunity for Joe Biden on debate night to really drive at Trump's vulnerabilities on abortion, on democracy.
The latest CNN poll of polls shows no clear leader right now. Nationwide, the current average stands at 47% supporting Biden and 49% supporting Trump. The debate is taking place inside CNN studios. There will be no studio audience.
And local political expert Woodrow Wilson Wagner II shared his thoughts on what to expect from President Biden and former President Trump. Wilson says the critical debate is more unorthodox than others in the past. These new rules, like no audience and microphone muting, surely changes the back and forth. Wagner believes the candidate who can connect the most with moderate voters will win the November election.
Both candidates can't just speak to their bases. They can't just speak to the people that are super MAGA or super liberal. They've got to speak to those people that are in the middle.
Wagner says Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are the states that will decide this debate. Each of these states are considered moderate. Tune into the CNN presidential debate tonight at 8 on CNN or on our website, crossroadstoday.com. So here is your viewer poll this afternoon. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote. The question is, do you plan on watching the presidential debate tonight? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. Now, for more on today's news stories, come to crossroadstoday.com. 25 News Now will provide live coverage of the CNN presidential debate, along with ABC News pre- and post-debate analysis starting at 7 p.m. You can also watch the CNN presidential debate on Crossroads Today Plus, on our website, and on all our streaming platforms. Now, 25 News Now anchor Don Brubaker, our very own, is in Ireland, where he made a stop at a church in downtown Dublin, the capital of the National. And here's what he saw.
Greetings from Ireland. We are here with a great bunch of people. The Alpaskas are here from Victoria, and we checked out downtown Dublin this morning. And now, after that, we checked out Christ Church Cathedral, which was founded in the early 11th century by a Viking king. The building was extensively renovated and rebuilt in the late 19th century, giving it the form it has today, including the tower, a distinctive covered footbridge, and a crypt. Joseph, what did you think about all of that in that old castle?
Well, we've been to Europe and we've seen lots of big churches and cathedrals, but it was awesome. It really was. Yeah. Yep.
And it is awesome to have you all with us in this. And we have more reports coming soon. Reporting from Ireland, I'm Don Brubaker, KVU TV 25 News Now.
Look at Don having all that fun out there. Now remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. A North Carolina mother now charged with murder and abuse. That's straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. Also ahead, the Victoria Police Department hosted this year's Youth Police Camp for the community. This story and more next. Children Blake and London Devon haven't been seen for years. Fayetteville police say evidence shows they are deceased. Now, the mother was arrested Wednesday. She's facing charges including first-degree murder, concealment of death, kidnapping, and child abuse. Investigators say the abuse included starvation.
Kept them in small rooms in complete darkness at times. They were given little food, they were given little or no food, and could earn nourishment through, by quote, doing paperwork.
London Devon was last seen in 2019, but police say her adoptive mother never reported her missing. Now, Blake hasn't been seen since 2022, but she didn't report him missing until this year. The mother is now being held without bond. Tonight, former President Donald Trump faces off against President Joe Biden in their first presidential debate of this year. Experts say elections like this one can impact a person's mental health.
It's Trump versus Biden again, and whether you're left, right, or in the middle, all sides are subject to concern for the future.
What I see in my daily practice is people worried about finances, about their mental health, their physical health. If you already have a little bit of depression or anxiety, it can exaggerate that.
Psychiatrist Dr. Thomas Valenti says our brains don't like change, leaving us vulnerable to stress and the start of a downward spiral, which can lead to anxiety and depression.
Regardless of what political party you assign yourself to, there's a 50-50 chance that your candidate may not win. And so that starts the cycle for some people of being fear-based.
Valenti says to ease election stress by limiting exposure, take a break from all things related to the election, especially if it's creating anxiety. Next, keep up a healthy routine by eating well, exercising, and getting good quality sleep. And remember, the election will end.
I think some people just can't see that. They can't see through it. And then it just tends to build to a crescendo where it's overwhelming.
Finally, seek help either from friends, family, or a mental health professional. Talking about your worries can ease the burden.
Medication can help. So can psychotherapy, counseling, meditation, yoga, art, aromatherapy. It's not just one path or one treatment.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you have not seen episode #1 of Let's Grow Texas Ag, a great program on the state of agriculture in the Crossroads area, you can watch it this Saturday on 3 Victoria Television Group stations. It's on KAVU TV Saturday, June 29th at 5 p.m., KVCT Saturday, June 29th at 4 p.m., and KXTS Saturday, June 29th at 11:30 in the morning. Now, the Victoria Police Department hosts a youth police camp every year since 2022. The camp has honored a 9-year-old whose dream was to join the force and get the bad guys off the street before she lost her life to cancer. 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick has the story.
Cameron Lee was diagnosed with sarcoma cancer when she was only 9 years old. In 2022, her diagnosis took her life. Victoria Police Department honored Cameron at their youth police camp just 1 week later.
On the spur of the moment, one of our officers, he didn't even get it approved or asked or anything. At the awards ceremony, he said, "We are changing the name of this camp in honor of Cameron, which is going to be called Camp Cameron."
As her family grieved, they made sure to support the camp because Cameron's dream was to join Victoria Police Department. The VPD even gave her the title of an honorary officer.
I called family and I was like, you got to get up, we got to go to the community center. The awards ceremony is today and this is what they're doing.
Cameron's mother, Garcia, says this is more than just fun for the kids. It's opening the community's eyes about pediatric cancer.
They're still honoring Cameron and her legacy. And it brings awareness not only to the Victoria Police Department, but also to childhood cancer as well. And a lot of people don't realize that childhood cancer is not rare.
Garcia says Cameron was a fighter and a diva. She says if Cameron was still here, she would have done whatever it takes to participate in what we know as Camp Cameron. Reporting in Victoria, I'm Darius McCormick, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Got a good-looking weekend coming up. You know, your Friday is going to be warm and humid. That doesn't change because it's that time of year. Thing is, we got stuff in the tropics that we got to talk about. 93 right about now feels like 109, so it's the heat index that's going to be getting you over the weekend. That 95 is 2 degrees above our average. We've been as warm as 103. Well, I wouldn't kid you about anything like this. The tropics are getting very busy. We've got 2 potential storm systems, and we're going to talk about that coming up right after this. Of us, you know, it was gone into the Midwest for a couple of days, but it's sort of back over our area. So our temperature is going to be going up a little bit, and the moisture is going to sort of dry down, but not completely because we have so much on the ground. Late this afternoon, we had one big thunderstorm rolling out. You see it right about there, but that's way up near Brenham, not close to our area, but it may get into the Schulenburg region. If you catch a thunderstorm, you'll be the one to catch it. All right, let's go to the tropics. I got lots to talk about. Right now, we have this easterly wave that's going to be a depression. Right here is just north of Central America. It is very definitely going to be hitting the Yucatan, and then it's crossing into the Bay of Campeche, and then it's very definitely going to be going into Veracruz. So they're going to get a lot of rain down there. But now the big story today is something a little bit farther out. This is tropical depression, or invest area number 95. It's way out in the mid-Atlantic, but it's got a lot of running room to gather strength. Computer models are already saying that this is going to strengthen up and will become a tropical storm by Sunday or Monday, okay? But by then, it'll be somewhere in the Caribbean, and obviously after that, we've got to watch it very carefully. Now, here's the system right about now. There's the coordinates if you happen to be tracking, but over the next, there's Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday, and then by Sunday, it starts approaching the Lesser Antilles, or the itty-bitty islands, as I like to call them. And then it gets into the Caribbean. And right about here, which is like next Sunday, it's got a fork in the road. It has no clear definition if it's going this way or if it's going into the Yucatan or into the Gulf. So let's just say that by Monday, Tuesday of next week, we've got to be watching this real careful. I don't want you to worry over the weekend, but you know that it has potential getting into the Gulf. And so we're going to be watching it carefully. For sure, this weekend, we're going to be hot and steamy. Already have heat advisories up for many of the coastal counties around our area and all the way up into central Texas. This is where the heat wave is occurring. And it's one of those deals where it's so hot that it may actually pop a couple of severe thunderstorms up here, but that's way far in the Midwest. So tomorrow in Port Lavaca, looking pretty good, 92. Looking for relatively quiet winds. You know, when we usually get that sea breeze, not happening. It's going to be less than 15 miles an hour. Partly cloudy, 1 or 2 errant showers. Cuero, you're getting up to about 94. Lots of sun, lots of a few little clouds, and a couple of isolated showers as well. But as you say, this is the leftover moisture from Alberto. It's sort of wringing itself out of the atmosphere slowly. Right now, we're going to say it's going to be hot and steamy for us, and those 2 systems are not coming this way. One's going into Veracruz, the other one, well, where is it going? That's the big question, and we'll certainly have all the answers for you as we get closer to Monday and Tuesday. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code, and we'd love for you to scan that so you can put Crossroads Today on your phone. And here's Karina.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up next on 25 News Now 5, we're going to take a look at your stocks. Plus, the cause behind Boeing's door plug blowout incident in January may be because of missing paperwork. Door plug blowout in January. There's documentation showing who worked on the door plug of the 737 MAX plane is missing. But this week, Boeing says the lack of paperwork is why the incident occurred. The 4 bolts needed to hold the door plug in place were never installed. Boeing says the team that needed to reinstall the bolts didn't have a work order telling them to do it. The NTSB is still investigating this incident. More than 100 counties in the state lack hazard mitigation plans, cutting off access to billions in grants that would help rebuild infrastructure after natural disasters. You can read this Texas Tribune article on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast when we come back. Plus, a baby from Arizona was picked as this year's Gerber baby. Plus, here's a look at World News Tonight right after 25 News Now at 5.
The White House. Plus, it's crunch time for the Supreme Court. The high-stakes decisions. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most-watched newscast on television.
Marketing campaigns and social media channels this year. The family of the Gerber baby wins a $25,000 prize and free products from Gerber and other companies. Look at that smile.
Nice.
He's
nice.
so cute. That would have sold me.
Yeah, of course, every grandparent's going, my baby's cuter than that.
That's the thing. I'm sure you're thinking the same thing.
Have I shown you the pictures lately?
Oh my God, that is one cute baby.
That's hard to make a choice on that one. Well, folks, here we go into Friday and the weekend, looking hot and steamy with just a couple of isolated showers possible in the afternoon hours. It's really winding down as we get rid of all that moisture. Right now, we're just hot and steamy as we get into early next week. But as I've been talking, there's 2 systems in the tropics that we've got to watch very carefully. And we will be doing that beginning on Monday as well.
All righty. Thank you, Mac. And thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.